themselves.
Okay. So, I mean, one of the things that I've really been focusing on is, as the reps come to me with their questions, really sort of holding them accountable and making sure that, you know, they've done their research, they've done their homework, they've troubleshot the issue, they're not just reading a case and coming and asking me a question. And so that they've put forth effort, they're trying to understand and to troubleshoot and to work through it. And if they're coming to me when they've hit a point where they absolutely can't think of anything else and really need some of that next sort of push towards what are they missing.
To do it, or you're just.
But that's not happening, right?
Yeah, I feel like they still come, and sometimes their questions aren't really that thought through, and I feel like if I'm pushing back too much, then I'm letting the client down because I'm making them go back and check on things, and they don't necessarily understand what to check.
Ways to perfect or better.
If we end up with that sort of cycle, then it just time goes by instead of solutions.
I feel
Okay.
I've been given a decent
Well,
amount
what do you feel I can do to help you with that? Are you running into any roadblocks that I could get rid of for you?
But
or at least help you through it?
I think one of our biggest roadblocks is just having a place that the reps can go to search out all this information that we have. I mean, a lot of the information that we have about troubleshooting the system, how it works, previous cases, all this information, it's all tribal. It's all in my head, your head, the heads of the people that have been here a while. And the rep's only real option is to go find the person that knows that and get it out of their head by asking them questions. And what would really sort of go miles towards finding a solution would be to be able to have a place they could go, a knowledge base or someplace where they can, you know, search for old cases, search for similar issues, common issues, things that they could use as references and resources to sort of learn about things that have happened that maybe other people have worked on.
Okay.
Weekend, and we're all on the same page.
So maybe
sort of
no
real roadblock.
So maybe like finding the mechanism through which to build that out would probably be really helpful.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with like any sort of technology that you'd use to build a KV or how you would host it or house it, so that it's easily accessible.
So you're saying you can't build it though? And why is that?
Well, I have all the information for it. I need the mechanism to store it and how that, like, I think if we had that, could figure out the best tool that the company wants to use for that, then we could get all this information from my head and everyone else's head into that sort of medium, so the agents can search through.
Okay.
So I feel like some of the things that we've done really have been sort of helpful, but not really helpful. Having Google Docs that are just like 70 pages long, that you have to like Control F search through. People are calling things different things. You can't really search by keywords and find stuff, and it's functional, but I don't know how much benefit it's actually.
Yeah,
just hit every bullet point.
So you don't feel like the reps are getting much benefit out of that document?
I feel like they present to it. I feel like they're not really using it as much, and partially because they feel it's so difficult to find information in it that they might as well just go ask somebody who's faster. So I mean, in their minds, I think they're thinking of how to get it done quickly, as opposed to how to get it done in which they learn how to do it.
What I heard is,
I can definitely see that, and as a manager, I can see why you would want to make sure the clients are taken care of. You don't want a bunch of clients breathing down your neck, right? About, oh, this guy didn't help me, or this girl doesn't know anything. I mean, I can definitely see your point of view.
But you feel kind of
so do
held back in a lot
you
of
have
ways.
anyone on your team
From,
that
is just the general constraints
dedicated to help organize and structure the knowledge that we do have?
No, right now it's just no.
But while you're here, either way, which way you go, you want to be able to get more involved in helping the overall
Do you feel like we should decide on someone we could set aside to do that specific role? Do you feel like that would be helpful to you in what you're trying to accomplish? Or would that present other
I mean, it would have its own set of complications and problems, but I mean, it'd be helpful to have someone that's there to assist with getting this built out.
Because you're the operations manager here.
But it's at the same time, you know, I don't want to pull one of the top performers off
but actually.
they're all having like 70 open cases apiece, all of a sudden those all have to go off to somebody else if they don't have enough time to handle the volume that they have just to work on this project. So it's kind of having to balance there the benefits long-term with sort of the sacrifices we have to make short-term to get it in place.
So let me stop you there. One thing you could do at this point is use psychological distance and say, well, okay, if you had unlimited resources, how would you? So maybe you notice he's at a sort of a slump of like he doesn't know a solution. You don't know a solution. And so now this gets at this sort of brainstorming session.
That's what I'm trying to get to. And,
Where so
I am struggling, and I understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to get to that brainstorming. Let's share some ideas.
Okay. All right.
I'd like to make these very specific so that we know if we accomplish that, because a very smooth operation or a very efficient operation.
So what would help?